Welcome back to the Jony Horror Show, everybody. I'm your host, Jony Maresca. And yes, the other day I woke up and I couldn't decide who was better, Munsters or Addams Family. I don't know. I was racking my brain all day and I couldn't decide, so I got out there and asked you guys, the viewers. And you know what? You guys responded. We have a lot to cover and not enough time to cover it in, and I was totally thinking that... What? I'm doing a show here, man. Excuse me? Just give me that. Dear sir, in keeping with the spirit of 1960s television, of which the shows you will be discussing today are based upon, we regret to inform you that the Jony Horror Show will be restricted from use of the following content: obscene gestures, abrasive humor, violence, nudity, offensive language. What the fuck? I'm calm. We're good. I'm calm. Even with everybody's input, I still wasn't convinced who is the better of the two families. And after spending hours on the internet fiddling through the history of our forefathers, I came to one simple conclusion. The only way to settle a feud is with a fight.
Please snap your fingers for the spookies, the ookiest, the Addams Family! Weighing in at 4 TV movie specials and a 72-episode television series that has never been out of syndication. Please stop your feet and give an old country welcome to the Munsters!
Round 1. Origins. Basically, who came first? Now, if you go way back to the 1930s, you'll see that, technically speaking, the Munsters are based upon the old classic monsters. Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Wolfman. More aggressive personalities, and they're not 100% the same characters that we see in the Munsters, so I think that argument's a little bit of a stretch. The Addams Family, however, they were created in 1938 by Charles Addams in a comic strip, and those characters more or less stayed the same throughout their entire existence. 1938, that's about 30 years before the Munsters or the Addams Family ever aired on television. So I think the Addams Family wins this one.
Give yourself a sporting chance, old boy, and run while you still can.
Round 2. Who's got more style, more pizzazz, creatures, cars, creations, all that cool jazz? Now, the Addams Family, they do have a lot of cool stuff. They have a lion as a house pet, man-eating plants, all that cool stuff. But none of it is specifically Addams Family material. Maybe if you saw like a hand, just a lone hand, just walking around, you'd be like, hey, that's Thing. The Munsters, however, they have a ton of stuff that is strictly Munster related. Dragula, a car that is created out of a coffin that they use for drag racing. They have a family car that's also pieced together from a hot rod, a hearse, old buggy, and finally, since the Munsters are a universal property, that gives them leeway to introduce all sorts of other universal monsters, like Uncle Gilbert, who is the creature from the Black Lagoon. Round 2 goes to the Munsters.
Now, Lily, I'm going to win this fight. It is my job as the head of this household to be the breadwinner.
Round 3. I decided I would ask you guys how you felt. The fans, because at the end of the day, without the fans, these shows would be nothing. So I took to the internet Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I did a poll. The response was more or less one-sided. You guys picked Addams Family over the Munsters.
The winner by unanimous decision, the Addams Family!
For the Addams Family honor. For the Addams Family name. For no good reason at all.
I was really surprised about that, but then I thought about it. You guys aren't sitting here watching 1960s Munsters and 1960s Addams Family. You guys are real nostalgic about 1990s Addams Family. Don't worry, Munsters. You always have the races. Even though you guys picked the Addams Family, hands down, I realized who my favorite was. And you know what? I'm Team Munster. Because without me watching the Munsters first, I never would have fallen in love with the Addams Family later.
To mirth, to merriment, to manslaughter.
I started this by posting a picture on Instagram asking who was better, the Munster or the Addams Family, and it ended up becoming my most commented on picture and my most liked picture. I just want to thank you guys so much for participating. You guys have an awesome day, and screw this pansy mama crap. Go f*** yourselves!
What do you think, Thing?